I've been traveling around the world now for 2 years, and I'm always so amazed by how far the beautiful message of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has reached. From the beautiful sacred lands of Mecca and Medina to right here in Indonesia.
Well, The Last Hope is the continuity of the film Freedom that was featuring 50 converts from 25 countries, and now it's a film that 100 converts from 40 countries will talk about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, how he impacted his lives. So it is a continuity of the first film, and we're going to be featuring many countries, including Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and other countries where the Prophet ﷺ, of course, had an impact. First in Mecca, Medina, and then all the hadiths mentioning about Istanbul, for example. So it's very exciting for us, and we can't wait to show it to the world. And we are currently working on the interviews and choosing the right converts for the film. And while we're doing this, there was this controversy 1 month ago in India with some insult on Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So it gave us even more energy to make this film, to finish it on time before the end of the year. So we are currently in the process of also gathering some funds to be able to give justice to this film and to give justice to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ legacy.
Freedom, in my opinion, is an overrated concept. In terms of the Western way of thinking about freedom. Freedom in the West means that you can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. And that is not the nature of man. We were not created to be free in that way.
So the difference between The Last Hope, our new film, and Freedom is going to be many more converts. 100 converts from 40 countries. Is going to be a series of film. So the first film was a 90-minute documentary, but this time, because we have so much content, we're going to have to make a series of 1 hour each. So we are working on a 6 series of each 1 hour. So it will take the viewers through a journey with the converts and with beautiful drone footages of Mecca, Medina, and all the countries where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ passed, like in Shams, for example. So we are collecting the data, and we're working on this as I'm speaking to you. And this is basically the main difference. And of course, this time also we have now famous converts joining, like Jepal Frey, a British convert that became Muslim 2 years ago in Istanbul. There's also Daud Kim. I think is the most famous YouTube converts from Korea. So we are bringing more, let's say, known converts, which will help us at the end of the day to spread out this film more on social media, which was not the case on the first film. So a bit more famous people in that, including Timothy Winters, Sheikh Abdullah Murad from UK. He's also part of this film.
So that was my final Maghrib prayer here in Medina. Really sad. That was phenomenal. Thousands of people here again. This place is so special. And I'm very sad to leave.
This film is about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ from the eyes of each convert. So it's not a scholarly film. We're not going to narrate the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Basically, each convert will tell how the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ impacted him or her in his life or her life. So it can be from many different angles. It can be from a financial point of view, of course, spiritual point of view, in relationship with the mothers, the families, in relationship with the world. So the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ impacted the whole world, and each convert has a special story with him, a special, I would call, a love affair. Depending, if you're asking me, I will tell you what impacted me is social justice. So I will talk about that. But for others, it's his love relationship with Aisha. So there are so many angles, and we want to give the opportunity to 100 converts to express themselves. And we believe it's going to be a very beautiful film. Don't ask me about the script, the full script. We don't know it. It's going to be a surprise, and we're going to match all the interviews together like we did for Freedom. And inshallah, it's going to turn out very good with the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah.
Islam liberates mankind from the bondage of self, from the bondage of being a human being and thinking that you are the end all be all. Islam liberates us from our own desires. Islam liberates us from ignorance. Islam liberates us from hatred, and it liberates mankind from the burden of himself.
So what we want, the message we want to share to the Muslim is, usually when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is insulted, we see the Ummah reacting for a good week and sometimes boycotting the country that is behind those insults. Like in the last case, it was India. But we want to say, like, this is an ongoing effort, and the reason sometimes we are receiving those insults about our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is because we're not doing the job to have a long-term strategy to explain who he was, what was his legacy, and we let others talking about him on our behalf. And that's why I think it's very important to invest in media, to invest in many different type of films or documentaries about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, to let him, to let the world know about him. When I was doing my tour in South Africa for the first film Freedom, I was reading a poem about him and saying that, don't you know the Prophet of the Muslims? And I started to cry because I realized it's not the case yet in South America, for example. And I felt guilty about that. And I think all the Muslims should feel a bit of guiltiness in the sense that we're not able to make the world know enough about Prophet Muhammad. Arguably, Jesus Christ, Isa alayhi salam, is more famous, about his life and things like that. And I think it's about time that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ take the center stage as the number one figure of all mankind. And inshallah, with this film, we're going to achieve that.
Yeah.